Hello and welcome to the Best of. This is Ricky Tucker, your host, better known as Coach RIX. On the Best of, we focus on the best in the areas of sports. And we're continuing our series as we discuss the ABCs of sports and athletics and the world of, with A's being bring your A game, B being plan B, and C being transition. And we are proud to have the guests that we have today. The topic of the show today is semi-professional basketball. And we're here with the Memphis Lions. We have two young ladies here. They're very non-suspecting, but they are actually the owners of the Memphis Lions. First of all, we have Ms. DePaula Glover. She's one of the owners and the fundraising director. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. And next we have Ms. Marcelina Glover. She's the other owner, and she is the personnel advisor. Welcome and thank you.
Hi.
All right. We're really excited. We've got, I think, some other members that are going to be participating a little bit later in the show, but let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I think there are probably a lot of people that are not aware that we have a semi-professional basketball team in the River City, so I'm excited to have the opportunity to talk with you. So tell me, who are the Memphis Lions?
The greatest team.
All right, she's the greatest team in Memphis. That's really awesome. Now, what you've just done is you've just thrown out a challenge, so I'm sure that you are a great team, but you also have probably some competitors in some surrounding areas. What are some of the areas that that you actually play in? Like
This
some
year?
of the cities?
This year we're going to play in Jackson, Tennessee,
Awesome.
Little Rock, Arkansas, Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to have Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Dallas. We're going to focus more on a national schedule this year than we did last year.
Okay.
And that's just basically that we're in.
Great, great. Well, that's good to hear. And even though you said you're the best in Memphis, chances are you're probably going for being the best in the league, no doubt.
Correct.
So you mentioned last year. So tell me, how long have the Memphis Lions been around?
2 years. We started in March 2014 in our bed on a snow day.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. So you're conducting business wherever. All right. So now, this team's name is probably not going to be a household word. Now, last year, to my understanding, as we were talking before the show, last year you started off as an ABA team. Is that correct?
Correct.
But I think there's some new and exciting news, and now you're part of what league?
The NEBA League.
I didn't want to say it. I knew it, but I didn't want to. I wanted you to be able to let the cat out of the bag. So tell me, what is the NEBA League?
The NEBA League stands for New Era Basketball Association, and it's basically a stomping ground to where players have the opportunity to play on a national schedule and have the opportunity to play overseas basketball, which is an opportunity that many basketball players wish for that don't have the opportunity to do.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, I'm sure that that is a draw for some of the young men that are trying out for the team, because we all know that there's only so much room in the NBA. And we all know that there's only so much room in the D League. So this affords them the opportunity to play at a semi-pro level, but you've got people with professional eyes that are actually watching them. And then to actually play in Europe and other places. So there's a good chance that your roster can turn over, because if someone is playing in another country, and if a European team sees them, there's a good chance that they will try and court them. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. But you know, fortunately, your expression didn't change, so that just says that you're open to that. So I could see this really being a road to help these young men to really make their dreams come true. and this could be a start here at the NEBA League.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
what we're trying.
Okay, well that's good, and I think that's a really good start. So you started with the ABA, now you are with NEBA. How long has NEBA been in existence?
This is primarily the second year that NEBA has been in existence, but this is the first year that it's been in existence with teams nationally. So last year it was kind of like a trial and error type of league with just a couple teams playing in the league.
Right.
This year they decided to branch out and go ahead and start the league with the different opportunities that decided to come up. And within the last couple months, NEBA League has developed into a league of approximately about 22 teams, with the Memphis Lions being one of them.
Wow, that's great. So you had to make that decision, and I share with young people and older people as well that in this game, as they call it, this is really more than just a game, it's business. So as business owners, you had to make what could have been a very tough decision to change from the ABA to the NEBA League. So tell me what prompted you to really think about moving from one to the other.
It wasn't tough.
Okay.
The NEBA League showed us the opportunities that we wanted for our players. The biggest thing that we wanted for our players, since Memphis Lions, we're a team that provides our players with that second chance to afford them the opportunity to play a level of professional ball. And NEBA gave us that opportunity to help those players. We remember sitting down talking to our players one day and trying to figure out why did they want to play for the Memphis Lions. And one of those reasons was they wanted to play international ball, they wanted to get seen, and they wanted to learn other things besides just playing ball. And NEBA provided us with that opportunity to teach our players how to be businessmen, how to market themselves. It affords our players the opportunity to merchandise. It provides us with those opportunities that we did not see in the NEBA in the ABA. So NEBA gave us those stronger attributes for our players. So me and her had to make that decision on whether or not it was a good move. And after we kind of weighed our options and we talked to our staff and we talked to our players, we just went ahead and moved towards the NEBA League.
Wow. I think that's really commendable. And as I opened the show, I talked about the ABCs and I talked about bringing your A game. And the thing that we focus on with Coach Rick's winners primarily is that plan B. So for those young men and women who are actively playing sports, then we always encourage them to think about that plan B, because you can take those skills and transfer them. So when you talked about helping be good business people, I think that is incredible, and I applaud both of you for doing that, because this is a game, yes, but this is business. And you know, the saying goes all the time, it's nothing personal, it's just business. While that's true, the other side of the coin really is it's all personal and it's all business, because you play and you play to win. So that's good in a healthy way. So I'm glad to hear you say that. So this question to some people may be obvious, but it's not necessarily so. Where are your players from? Are they all from Memphis?
No.
Oh, really? So where are some of the places you get your players from?
Mainly our players are from really all over. We leave it open for anybody in the public to want who are interested in playing,
Okay.
no matter where they're from.
Right. Well, I must at least mention this. I've had the pleasure of witnessing a couple of maybe a little bit more than that, and in talking with some of the young men, I will tell you that you've got a few dedicated folks, whether they made the team or not, but that's what you really want. There was one young man who actually rode the bus to come to practice, and then he said as soon as practice is over, he's going to get back on the bus and head back home out of town. I applaud that because that's what you want. You want that drive, you want that tenacity and that fierceness in these guys that are competing because that's what competition's all about. So again, I applaud you for that. Okay, now, when does the season start? Because I can't wait.
Me
Am
either.
I too late?
No.
All right, good. When does the season start?
The season actually starts November 13th for us. We have our first game against Dallas, Texas, November 13th, and then we play San Antonio November 14th. So it starts in November.
Wow. So doing the Texas thing, the Texas two-step kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I remember, and I was telling you earlier, I mean, I didn't want to disappoint you guys, and I didn't want to embarrass myself, so I have to do my research as a business person. But I think I remembered you guys kind of really tossed somebody pretty badly last year. Is that right? What was that score?
228 to 92.
Now, could you say that a little bit louder now?
228 to 92.
228. Is that like 228 as in 228 points?
Yes.
Wow, I think that's incredible. So the guys in the other 21 states or the other 21 teams, I guess they better really watch out for you because the Memphis Lions are coming, huh?
Yes, we're actually coming in ranked number 1
Awesome.
in the NEBA League this year, so they have a lot to live up to.
Well, that's good, and it's also a challenge for you guys to be your best. And that's the tagline for my wife and I, and that's the tagline for our lives and our businesses, to be your best. So it's great to be on top, but that just means, as we would say in corporate America, that means everybody's going to come and knock you off. So, ladies and gentlemen,
They're trying.
we are talking once again with the owners. Yes, I said the owners of the Memphis Lions, Ms. DePaula Glover and Ms. Marcelina Glover. She made me practice that, so I just want to let you know that. And she's the co-owner of the Memphis Lions. If someone wants to reach you, and I'm hoping and I'm sure they do, how can they reach you? I think a website would be good. So what's a good website for them to get to find you?
www.memphislions.net.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much. We are going to be coming right back. I understand the coaches are in the studio with us, along with Mr. Tommy Thompson and Mr. Tim Mason and Coach Gwendolyn Tucker from Coach RIX Winners. So we're going to be coming right back and talking some more about the Memphis Lions. And I guess the coaches are going to kind of go over the X's and O's for us, huh? Well, it certainly has been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to, if you will invite this guy back to the team and kind of check you guys out, because I love being number 1. So it'll be good to re-engage and kind of make sure that these guys are rocking and rolling for you.
All right, thank you.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Ativa and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org. When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help David and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
Hello and welcome back to the best of RIX Winners. And this is the second half. We have talked with the owners of the Memphis Lions. And now we're going to talk to the men that are responsible for demolishing their opponents from last year. We've got here our head coach, Mr. Larry Stepter, who is the head coach and assistant general manager. Thank you very much and welcome. And we have assistant coach, Mr. Rungi Gescheit, better known as Coach G, as they said. They were trying to convince me to just say go with Coach G, but his name is much too valuable for that. And then we've got the man that whips these guys into shape, Coach Harold Johnson. He's the assistant coach and player development director. And I failed to say that Coach G is actually the assistant coach and basketball operations coordinator. So gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we're going to continue with some of the questions so that we can educate not just the Memphis area, but I understand you guys have 21 different teams that you are about to serve up as victims for this season. So we want this message to be spread throughout the country so they can see it as well and to let them know that you're coming their way. Now, the next question that I have for you guys is let's talk about your goals. And we're going to start with you as a head coach, Coach Stepter. Tell us about your goals this coming season.
Well, our first goal for this season is going to definitely be establishing a fan base in Memphis and being able to branch out within the community, because there's a lot of people around the city who are still kind of, they need more knowledge about the Memphis Lions and the Memphis Lions brand. So definitely establishing a fan base and getting out within the community and working with the kids. And and me as a coach, I just want to be able to put good athletes on the floor who are role models.
Absolutely.
And and guys that are able, who are just good men, just good people.
Yes.
Positive vibes only.
Yes.
So, and to win. Because earlier, just like Ms. Ross stated earlier, that we're going to be coming into our new league as the #1 team. We've kind of got this big bullseye on our back. So winning is definitely an option. It is the only option.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want us to be able to provide good, affordable, fan-friendly, professional basketball here in Memphis.
Okay. Any idea, Coach G, to just kind of add to that? Everybody has to play a different role, and I know that as the basketball operations coordinator, anything in particular that you'd like to see take place with the team this year?
One of the most important things for us in order to see success is to bring these guys together. Right now we're still at the point that we have a bunch of players that stepping on the floor every practice, and what we need to do is to gel them into one unit, into one squad. So this is our main thing, and within that we need to make sure that every player understands their role on the team, because not everybody can play 35 or 40 minutes, and not everybody can play every game. So some of this has to be adjusted and understood from players' point of view and from our point of view to utilize the talent that we have.
Well, and that is we've talked about strategy, we've talked about when to maybe put someone in, when to take someone out, and you mentioned players maybe not being able to play the full game.
Right.
Now, that can be interpreted a couple of different ways. Either they can be taken out, but the man sitting to your right, Coach G, is responsible for making sure that their engines work. So Coach Johnson makes sure that they are whipped into shape, and I have seen him whip them into shape. So if you were to think in terms of your goal, Coach Johnson, and what you'd like to see for the players and for the team this year, what is it that you would like? What goal do you have for them?
Well, the goal that I would have, we would have, is we want the players to gel as a team.
Right.
That's our main purpose as a team, to gel as a team.
Yes.
And like Coach Step said, also we want them to have character.
Absolutely.
As we gel, we want to have good character, but we want to be aggressive.
Yes.
We want to be very aggressive.
Yeah.
But we want to do it with character and style.
Yeah.
And our main goal is to win, but everybody talks about that's not the only thing. But when you get through, when the game is over, the first thing a person asks you is who won.
Who won?
That's the first question.
Absolutely.
And we want to say we won.
Absolutely. So I know, and I've seen you in action,
Yeah.
and I know that you make sure that either those machines work,
Yeah.
or they go big, or they do what? They go home.
Go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the true Coach Johnson. So thank you for that. Let's talk a bit more about your style of basketball. And we've got the NBA, we've got the D League, and we've got your style. So talk to us about the style of play for the Memphis Lions.
Well, with the caliber of athletes that we have, we play more of a up-tempo, fast break style of basketball, and we tend to be very aggressive on defense. Defense is probably our main priority every time that we step into practice. We're looking for defense. We're looking for lots of energy. We're looking for lots of lions,
Yes.
like on the basketball court.
Playing with the heart of a lion.
Sense of urgency
Good.
is the term.
Super.
No position off, positive vibes only, just real, like a real frenetic pace.
Wow. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you, we are talking with the Memphis Lions. We've got Coach Stepter, Coach Gescheit, and Coach Johnson. I'm Coach RIX, and we are talking about Memphis Lion basketball. These guys can be reached, or you could go to their website at www.memphislions.com. And you also have a Facebook, right?
Yes.
And what is that? How can they get to
It
you?
is just www.facebook.com/Memphis Lions, or just type it into the search box Memphis Lions and we should pop right up.
Good. Well, we'd like for you to like the Memphis Lions. Feel free to like us on Coach Rick's Winners on Facebook as well, and I'll direct everything to these guys. But let's get back to the subject matter at hand, and it's basketball. And I tell you what, the more I talk about this, the more I'm feeling a little bit fierce myself. So, since the Lions are a semi-professional team, how do you get them to, how do you actually get them to gel? I mean, Coach G, you talked about gelling first. How do you do that?
First, since this year we're going to play a national schedule, we have some long rides to games. So there's a great opportunity to get together, to get to know each other and spend time together. First, it's I'll take one step back. First, it's the attitude. You need to come in wanting to get to know your teammates, wanting to get together and get better as a player and get better as a team. So that's a state of mind. Once you have this state of mind, yes, we have the trips, we have Facebook and the WhatsApp team and all these social media. We're interacting. Funny hours, Coach, I have to tell you. some weird stuff, but it's great because it's fun and these guys want to play together and it's a lot of we. There's no I in team and all this slogans that people use. These guys really bring it in. So it really feels great to work with them, and it really feels great to work with the Memphis Lions.
Yeah, that's great. That fellowship, I think you were going to add something to that, Coach Stepter?
Lately, the past few weeks, the guys, they've taken it upon themselves without any of us and our owners coordinating events, but they've taken upon themselves to just get together on their own.
Good.
And just, to just basically not get to know the person as a basketball player, but get to know them as a person.
Great.
That from that standpoint, I've just been really just blown away by these guys. taking upon themselves to get to know each other.
Those are really critical points that you've said. I do a teamwork presentation, and those are the kinds of things that we talk about during that presentation. So these things are really awesome things to hear from the standpoint of stamina and fueling their bodies and things like that. Coach Johnson, what kinds of things do you encourage the players to do? And we're getting close to wrapping up time here, so I'm going to ask you guys a couple of really quick questions. So just in a couple of words, what would you say that you ask them to do? Just a few words.
Well, we try to ask them to eat right.
Yes.
Their diet. Also, don't miss practice.
Right.
And after they leave practice, or sometimes when we are not practicing, then they have to do some things on their own.
Awesome.
They have to, have in themselves to want to get better.
Yes.
So if they want to get better, then so they would have to do some work on their own.
Yeah. Awesome. That's critical.
Self-discipline.
Self-discipline. How about you, Coach G?
They summed it up, basically. We hand them the between practices or ways to practice and things they need to work on.
Yes.
And they need to execute it and do it themselves. And so far we see great results.
Well, great results. I like that. And I think that's a great way to start winding down. Great results is what you guys have achieved in the past. And great results is what, quite honestly, I'm going to expect, because you guys are on the show here and we're talking about the best of. So this time next year, we'd like to be talking about you having season number 2 and then going into season number 3 being number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had head coach Larry Stepter, head coach, assistant general manager, assistant head coach Runji Gishite, better known as Coach G, and he's a basketball operations coordinator, and Coach Harold Johnson, assistant coach and player development. Gentlemen, it certainly has been a pleasure, and I always strive to be the very best that I can be, and so it's been great to be amongst greatness today. So I appreciate you for all that you've done and all that you do, and then all that's yet to come. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the best of. I'm Ricky Tucker, better known as Coach RIX, and we've had the pleasure of talking with the owners and the coaching staff of the Memphis Lions. We'd like to encourage you to find them at www.memphislions.com or on Facebook, and we'd like to ask you to go to winners.org to find us, and we are Coach RIX Winners on Facebook. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember to always be your best.